suite for YouTube to work properly for me. So unfortunately, when these lives start, unless I have it set up like precisely, you're gonna see me for a minute, and then you're gonna see me move the camera around because, quite frankly, I don't know what to do. Uh, if you're a YouTuber, do you know why my editing suite isn't opening, or like why it's not showing? It'll open, but then where the video is, nothing ever loads. I've left it there for an hour, and nothing loads. So regardless, it's your boy Pretty Jimmy. It is the 4th of January, 2025. Yesterday, I received from my brother my dad's cash register. It's a 1912 NCR cash register. I could give you more details, but I don't have them off the top of my head. That's just what I remember from when we got it growing up. So that's the gist of it. So I'm actually going to talk about that again in a moment, but until then, we're going to try and set it up. We're going to flip. We're going to flip. Okay. And we're going to try not to not to just capture everything in my home. Y'all don't need to see my home. There we go. That actually. Why is Zoom not working on this? There we go. All right. Well, that shows a little bit of a messy corner, a little bit of my bed. I'll be covering that though, so that works. Just so that it's known, this right here is seats from the Sioux Memorial Gardens. The Sioux Memorial Gardens is the home of the Sioux Greyhounds. I don't know if I'm in frame. I'm in frame. Is the home of the Sioux Greyhounds. This is the old gardens, the one that was torn down in 2006. These seats watched Wayne Gretzky wear number 99 for the first time on September 24th, 1977. So that's them. This, of course, is the cash register. I'm going to move in a way that it can be seen and I can be seen. And then I'm going to pull up the live. I can't lift it. I wish I had another way of setting this up. Hmm. All right, what's going on, other person in here? Sorry, I just moved my camera because really the view was really shitty. It was far away, and I didn't know if anybody could hear me. But if hey, listen, if you're in here, I'm really happy that you're here. If you could tell me who it is, folks, if you could tell me who all's in here, I would really appreciate it. We are we're going to be getting a little bit more of the dust off this thing. Can you see the cash register? Yes, you can. Okay. So we're going to get it a little bit more clean. We're also going to find out things like what the model number is, what the serial number is. Two of these buttons, specifically the 9 and the 8 button, are actually stuck down. So I'm gonna attempt to try and get those to pop. I actually watched a video yesterday where it showed a man working on the exact same cash register, exact same, and he got the buttons to pop really easy, and it's the buttons that are stuck that are causing the arm not to crank. And of course, the arm not cranking is making it so that we can't open the tray, which is this nice ornate wooden tray underneath this marble. I mentioned it in a video yesterday talking about the marble. The marble is a rare piece to have on these. A lot of times you'll find them cracked, and the reason that they exist is so that somebody could take a quarter. I'm just gonna run and grab an American quarter. Now, I don't know exactly the science behind it, but I think that there was a time when maybe quarters were made out of something different, or counterfeit quarters were made out of something different, like maybe the metal was softer. So what you would see is you would have somebody take the dollar, and if they didn't trust it, or quarter, I guess. Maybe America had dollars back then, like dollar coins. I'm not sure. I'm Canadian, but I live in a border, so I have American money too. But they would tap on it, and they would listen to the sound, and that's the way they would determine the coin's validity. Now let's take a penny. Does that sound different? Oh yeah. Listen to the difference in sound. One is much more piercing to the ear. So that's what that was for. I'm not sure. Oh, there is. Okay, so there's two screws that come out of that. So that's definitely going to get thoroughly cleaned today. It was caked with dust, and listen, I'm sure there's probably some animal, like this was in a shed for a few years. Um, so I'm sure like there's some squirrel hair or something on it. It's pretty gross. That's why the cleaning needs to be done today, because I'm not willing to have this in my apartment without having like a very thorough, deep clean on it. Yeah. So first things first, it is a national cash register. There is a number. Information is in here. There's a there's a piece of paper with all the information. It's on the bottom of this drawer. So if you ever find yourself with a national cash register, or I'm sure probably other companies did it too, there's a piece of paper underneath there. It'll tell you everything that you need, but unfortunately, you need to be able to open the damn thing, which is where the problem arises here. Um, this was so my dad sold paper. So somebody in the chat was asking to hear more funny stories about my father. So here's one about how the cash register came to be. So my dad sold paper products. So just to make it really, make it really to the point, my dad was Dunder Mifflin, except he ran it by himself, uh, out of our garage. And so he sold paper, letterheads, photocopy paper, the paper that would come out like for your receipt. He sold all that stuff. And I guess a company got in touch with him and said, "Hey, we have a computer program for you to try, as a trial basis, and if you like it, you can sell it." Well, my dad had no interest in that. He sold paper. He didn't sell computer products. He didn't sell computer programs, rather. So he took the program, but then a local hotel here wanted the program. So he turned around and said, "Well, screw it. I don't need it. I'm going to sell it to these folks," and proceeded to sell it to the hotel. The hotel never paid, or I guess my dad had to keep hitting them up to pay them for the product that he got for free and probably shouldn't have been selling. And finally, the hotel just said, "Hey, we know that you've been eyeing up that cash register in the spare room." When my dad would deliver paper to this place, he'd always bring it to the room, and this cash register was in there. And so they said, "Why don't we just give you the cash register you keep eyeing up, and we call it a day?" And my dad, having paid nothing for the product, said, "Yeah, whatever, sounds good." And one day he came home in our Ford Excursion and said, "Jimmy, you need to help me take this ridiculous heavy cash register out of the back of the truck." And like I said, he sold paper, and the boxes of paper that you see, even in the office, they use them as props in the basement warehouse. You see these boxes of 8.5 by 11 paper. Well, they weigh probably about just shy of 50 pounds each. And that's how we determined if we could even bring this up the stairs to my, like, I live in a second story apartment that doesn't have an elevator. We used a cart, a dolly, to bring this up. It took us 4 minutes to do 20 stairs. And the only reason that we knew it, that we would be able to do it, is because this weighs less than 4 boxes of paper, and we can do 4 boxes of paper. Uh, this was not as easy because obviously all of the weight is like in this part. So it really weighs it down. I was fault like my brother was going up backwards, pulling it up the stairs, and I was at the base pushing it. Like I had my hands underneath and was like pushing it up like that. Whoa. Let me tell you, folks, what a pain in the ass. I'm so glad that I'm going to learn everything about this. So if it ever moves from my apartment again, I can take the base off. I can take this off. I can take this off. I can strip it down of so many of its parts and make it easier to move. Because I swear, This thing was, this thing's 150 pounds. And that might not seem like a lot, like you should be able to lift 150 pounds, but it's so awkward. The base here is just wood. It doesn't weigh a lot. So the actual weight is above where you would really be carrying it from. Uh yeah, it was really something else, friends. I wish that all of you in the chat here were with us. We could have lifted it up 100 stairs if y'all were with us. There's four with us now. That's pretty cool. I'm so happy that there's four of you here. If you could, just to make me feel good, if you're in here listening to me, could you say who you are in the chat over on the side over there? I think it's over there. Yeah, it's over there. If you could just tell me who you are and who you are in the Discord, listen, I'd be super jacked for that. I am going to get this paintbrush. If you ever need to get into tight spaces to clean, a hard bristle paintbrush like this will be a good idea. I did have a bigger one, like a 2-inch one, but I don't know where it went, and so I just have to make do with this. Um, what's going on, Carl? Carl, do you have any questions, bud? You know, I really love being interactive in the chat because it makes you want to interact with me, and who doesn't like interactions, right? So, like I mentioned, it's very gross, and I've noticed that some of the grossness comes from like nooks and corners. I'm very sorry if this is shaky for a moment. It's using a not very steady thing. So I'm just gonna take this brush, and I'm literally just doing this, and I can already see a lot of like shit coming out of it. And I'm just gonna go all the way, and just to get all the gross. See, just like that. We're getting clean. I hope you can even see what's going on. But that just got a bunch of dust off of it, and Lord have mercy, this thing needs to have dust taken off of it. I'm gonna just toss that right there. So Carl, how's it going, bud? What do you got going on for this Saturday? Just gonna hang in random chats. Maybe there's a barstool one. Maybe there's mine that you're gonna listen to, which is super cool of you. I love it when people show up and have people in the chat. Do I think that I'll need to acquire parts for it, Handsome James? First off, thanks for calling me Handsome James. I appreciate that. Do I think that I'll need some parts? So, just off the get go, I know that I need, and listen, it's not the end of the deal if I never get them, but I'm missing a screw right there, and I'm missing a screw right there, and I might find a spot on the register where I can take a screw from, as long as as long as it's a matching screw, and I'll be able to replace it in there. But if not, there's a guy. I did a little bit of research last night, and there's a guy who sells parts for these. I assume that he collects, broken and severely damaged one, and strips them for parts. So there is a few things that, right off the top of my head, I do need. Whether or not they end up getting got, I'm not sure. So screw here, and then let's see if I can find one. 50, I think, was one of them. Okay, so see, I just took off the number. Uh, they just come out like that. Like they just literally fit inside. I don't know if you can see that well, but yeah, they just literally plop right back in there. Well, some of these actual rings are broken. You can see this gap right here. That's not supposed to be there. So I'm gonna possibly look to see if I can find new rings for this. If I can't, it's not the end of the world. I'm not realistically that worried about it. What I'm worried about the most is simply getting it to open. I want it to work and look presentable. It doesn't need to be clean. It doesn't need to be shiny like the one that I saw get restored last night. This one that I watched get restored uh, shined. Oh my god, it was so beautiful, but I don't think that I have the talent yet, at least, to fully like go through and make this shine like they did. Like they had polishing uh I don't know really know what to call it. It's like a gel that they were putting on cloth, and like that was what was getting their shine back. Carl, it doesn't open yet, and I actually know why. So we'll see here. So it's jammed, and what it is it's because both the nine. I'd move it so that you can see better, but unfortunately, the stand that it's on shakes really bad when you move it. But the nine button and the eight button are stuck right now, and that makes it so that the mechanism can't move. And that was what I was learning about last night is how to get your numbers to unjam. Um, Here's the button that pops them. So like if you make a mistake, you can press this little lever right here, and like for example H. Uh, okay, H20. So I could pop those buttons out by just pressing that. But out of out of the 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, out of 45 buttons, uh, if 8 go down, I'd be surprised. So I've got some work. I've got some work to do when it comes to the buttons. Nathan, you're asking for pizza, buddy. You got it. I will absolutely make a cast iron pizza for you, and we'll talk about par baking when we make a pizza together. Par baking is what's going to allow you to get past the gum line. I think that's what yeah, I always feel I undercook the dough. Yeah, so Nathan, what's happening is that you're not shrinking the gum line enough, which is if you think of a crust, and I'm just going to use my fingers this far apart just for visual aid. So if you think about a crust of a pizza being that wide, if you cook it for 10 minutes, for example, you're only going to cook the top and the bottom, well, sorry, the top and the bottom a little bit. You need to put it in for more time. But if you've got lots of toppings, that makes it hard for the gum line. So you par bake your dough, and then your gum line should drastically reduce. But listen, that's for a different stream. Nathan, you remind me, and we'll definitely make a pizza one day, and you'll knock it out of the park. Carl, Nathan, do you have a cast iron frying pan? Just gonna continue this a little bit while I talk pizza here with Nathan. So in between all of the numbers is very very rusted, and by all in between, in between all of the numbers, like it's rusted, but then the rust has kind of fallen underneath. So that's what I'm trying to get, and I'm kind of hoping that maybe some of the rust is part of the reason why some of the things are seized. So let's get all this out. The brush is also removing the rust a little bit from the column on the number itself too. So that's good. It'll be less dirty. And let's see if we can't get one of these numbers to press. I was just okay. Hey, we got number one. Okay. Yeah, Carl, definitely. So these two numbers, um, I think that it's a case of like when you jam them like that, it actually jams in there. I don't necessarily think it's a rust issue, but it may very well be. You know what? While we're talking about it, I grabbed this cloth. Um, listen, I don't like this thing's pretty solid. It's not really going to get damaged, but this thing's 113 years old. Uh, I'm not looking at doing things to it that could even damage it. So what I've done here is I've taken this towel and I'm going to use it as a rest for my screwdriver. This is not how the dude from YouTube did it. The dude from YouTube just took a screwdriver and just said screw it and had at her. But this is mine. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to place this right here so that I can. No, I'm going to place this right here instead. And what this is going to be used for is I'm going to put it like this, maybe. How am I going to do this? Yeah, well, I mean, this is how we did it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the screwdriver is under here, and I'm going to pry up a bit and just see what happens. Nope, not the 9, that's for sure. What about the 8? Sorry about that noises. I'm trying to. Well, realistically, there shouldn't be any noises while I'm prying. Sorry. Okay, so they are seized a little bit more than what I was thinking. So we're going to use the side as a mallet. Let's see if anything moves at all. These fall into a chamber. They fall into a chamber. Imagine like a key going into a keyhole, where the number has this long column, and that's the key. It's going into a keyhole, and it's got a spring there, and that's all seized up somehow. Oh yes, there it is, folks. There's the number 9. There it is. All right, so there's the number 9 unlocked. That's awesome. I'm glad. See, this is why you do things live, folks, because I get to experience it, but also you get to experience it. So let's just take this and do a little bit of that now that the 9's up. Okay. And okay, so that doesn't get the 8. Oh, sorry. The 60-cent piece is also jammed, and it just came out maybe 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. That's what we're gonna call 3 millimeters. So I'm gonna just try. Get the towel underneath there. Again, we're using the towel so that we don't cause damage. This is a non-destructive restoration. All of my restorations are non-destructive. Some people restore cast iron frying pans with power tools. That's destructive. You're taking away part of its original appeal when you do that, and I am not about that. Okay, so let's. Okay, so the 60 cent. Okay, the 60 cent is still very much solid. This stream might last like 2 hours, just because I'm having fun. I'm having fun working on my pops' cast iron. I almost called it a cast iron pan. That's what I'm usually working on Obviously, most of us know this, um, but that's not the case today. We're working on my dad's cash register. Um, so what I'm going to do now, apparently what needs to happen is that a button from everything needs to be pressed for the register to open, which is down here. So I'm going to test it out by pressing buttons that I know work. So H, we're going to chart. That worked before. Huh. Okay. Okay, so we're going to charge it. We're going to do H, 20. One of these works. Okay. Oh, okay, because 8's already down. And then 60, which was the button. Wait, wasn't that button that was stuck? Wasn't that the button that was stuck? Timestamp dude, welcome in, buddy. This is a 1912 National Cash Register cash register. It goes up to $99.99, which means that it came out of a department store. There's also a model that is missing this row, and it only goes to $9.99. It was for a candy store. Just a little history of NCR cash registers for you. If it went to 100, probably for a department store. If it went to $10, probably for candy. So let's see here. Charge H 20, 8, 60, and 1. Okay, so we just charged for department H $28.61. Let's see what happens. Okay, so nothing still, which that kind of sucks. We're gonna press the button to reset, and that unlocked, or that brought back rather all the buttons that I had pressed. So that's nice knowing that this button works. We'll go through. I'll show you what buttons do work. So paid out works, charge works, and record on account all work. These are these three buttons right here. K, H, E, and that's it. 20. Huh. 2 kind of works. Oh, that's right, because 8 is down. Let's see here. 60 kind of works, but it's not coming back. The 1 is kind of working, but it's not coming back. Same with the 5 and the 9. So that's all the ones that actually work. Carl, this was my dad's. I find the story very funny about how he got it using assets that he wasn't supposed to sell or that he probably didn't actually own. My dad passed away in 2013, so this is kind of like a keepsake. So it won't be. Listen, if somebody were to give me life-changing money for it, then yeah, sure, by all means, I'll sell it, and my dad would expect me to have. But unless it's life-changing money, it ain't going anywhere. It's also really heavy, so selling it would also have to come with the express information of you're moving this. I'm never moving this again. I'm never picking this up ever again and removing it from my apartment. Somebody else will do that. I'll pay for it to happen. I don't care. But it's far too heavy. There's 6 people watching in here. Thanks a lot, folks. I really do appreciate it. If you can't tell, I do love interacting with the chat. So if you have a question, if you have a comment, maybe you want a closer look at something, if you want me to pick up the phone and show you something closer, by all means, if you put it in the chat, listen, the chat runs the show. So I'm here for you. You're here for me. Let's chat. Should I continue working at getting some of these buttons to go down in an attempt to get the drawer open? Maybe if I can get the 8 to unlock and like come free, it'll happen. Who knows? So I'm gonna work. I'm in. All right, Nathan's in. That's all that. I was gonna say that's all that matters, but no, there's 6 people in here. You all matter. So I'm gonna work at removing the 8 again. Everyone cross your fingers that I don't, break something, because that would be devastating. Oh, did I just feel something? Yeah, definitely that moved. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is, folks. There it is. The 8 is now out. The 7 is a little bit pressed, but it's not seemingly in all the way. Let's get this, folks. When you get something unjammed, move it right away. Just keep fiddling with it for a few minutes, because if you undo it and then just let it sit, listen, your issue's coming back. I promise. I'm just gonna make sure the 7 is all the way out. I think it is, but I'm not. Yeah, see, the 7 was down too, I think. Where's my paintbrush? Gonna get down in there. There was some gunk still attached to this. We're gonna call that the stem of the button. And I don't want the gunk from the stem of the button going down inside where the stem comes out of. So that's what we're doing here. Folks, I hope this is everything that you want Brandon Walker's mantiquing to be, kind of. Like, where's Brandon? I want Brandon in here to talk to me about my cash register. That would be awesome. I'd be so happy. I bet that Walker would think this is super cool. Now I'm just doing the $10 denomination ones just because, I don't want to just clean and do everything, because that's not exciting for you folks. You want to see buttons get in stock, right? This is better. Nathan, is this better than Brandon's antiquing? I know that Brandon just shows stuff and he doesn't ever like actually show himself using anything or restoring anything. I like shopping. I like shopping for antiques, so I'm down with that. But one thing that I would really like to see him do, and I'd love to help him, is to restore a cast iron frying pan. Uh, he's Southern and he's very proud of his Southern heritage. Well, when I think of cast iron frying pans, even though a lot of the manufacturers are from the Wapaketa area of Ohio, um, cooking on cast iron is a very Southern thing. And I don't understand why Brandon hasn't gotten a cast iron frying pan yet to restore. It just seems so much within his heritage, and I'd love, love, love to get him a cruddy, gross cast iron frying pan back restored and in working order. He can cook his whole family delicious, love-filled breakfasts on Sundays. That's what my dad did. That's why I love my cast iron. It's because every Sunday we'd wake up and my mom would take her 4 boys to church as long as they weren't over 18, over 13, and my dad would stay at home because my dad didn't give a flying fuck about church, and we would have breakfast when we got back from church, pancakes and bacon and eggs and hash brown and chocolate milk, you name it. It was great. So cast iron frying pan. Nathan, I'd love to be his cast iron guy. Here's the problem: is that cast iron is very, it's heavy, so to ship it is very expensive. But if he like had questions for me while he was antiquing, I would be able to help him. I would be able to help him, find a frying pan. But shipping one from Canada would be like, especially for me, I'm not working right now. It would be prohibitively expensive. Um, but if he, like if he had questions while he went antiquing, listen, I am here to answer anyone. Nathan, if you had a question, Carl, timestamp dude, if any of you ever have questions about cast iron frying pans, by all means, DM me. I'll make sure that you're set straight and not buying a piece of shit. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Um, it's nice to see so much dirt coming off of this because that means that if the dirt is down here, the dirt is no longer up here. Um, all right, so I don't know why the I don't know why the drawer won't open. I don't know why the arm won't crank at this point, and that has me a little bit disheartened because I was really hoping that the buttons going down would allow this to happen. So let's just walk through it again. You and me together. We went charge. No, we're gonna go paid out. That seems more like something a cash register would need to open for, right? Cashed out. We're talking about cash, and cash comes from the drawer. We're gonna move all this just so that in case it does, miraculously open, it doesn't get blocked by anything. So 20, I believe. And we do have these, they're open. Okay, but we're gonna go with 22 and 60 and 5. Okay. Hmm. Shit. That sucks. Okay, let's see if all of the buttons raise though. So I have 6 buttons down. Ooh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Whew. 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 That was scary. Okay. So what happened there is that when I had all of the buttons pressed, it's 60 and 5. 5 isn't coming out now. So that's okay. But when I went and moved, huh, that's weird. It didn't travel as far that time. Was the 5 stuck down at the beginning of this video? That's a question for you. That's a question for you, folks. Was the 5 down when we first started? I don't know, but we got the other ones to pop, so I am confident that we will be able to get this to pop. Folks, if you're watching this, if you could do me just a favor, because I am a very... No, it wasn't. Okay, thanks, timestamp dude. So, methinks is that for the drawer to open, it has to be able to pop the buttons. And as such, maybe the 5 button being stuck down is what's preventing it from opening. That's all that I can really think of. So let's work at that. Hopefully this will be just an easy one. I don't... Come on. Okay, so That's probably the one that's doing it. Oh, I've, I've got, I've got its number. Literally, I've got its number. Maybe that's a good sign. Okay, well, let's keep at it. This one's this one's so stuck that I almost feel unsafe doing this. Like 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 I feel like the screwdriver is gonna break on me. Jesus, is it ever? Oh, what the fuck? Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I'm an asshole. What was up with that? How come it was so stuck? I pressed the button. Okay, the 5 goes back on. Okay, the one works without fail. So let's try this again. We're gonna go paid out. We're gonna go from H. We're gonna go $22.61. All of those buttons press. Okay, good. 22.61. Here's the moment of truth. We've got 5 people watching. Fuck. God damn it. Fuck. I don't know what to do. Like, what could be jamming it? Okay. Sorry if my face is right up in there, but I need to get back to National. National Cash Register stuck. Drawer. it's it's telling me to check to make sure it's turned on. Yeah, this runs without power. While I'm searching for this, folks, if you have any questions or concerns, or you want to ask me something fun, I'm down for answering whatever. Like I mentioned, the chat is where it's at. Uh, Timestamp dude, to answer your question, very simply, no. Nothing else needs to be done. Uh, no, nothing else needs to be done. I've opened this before. Um, it used to be in my garage, and every once in a while I'd come outside and fiddle with the buttons and make it open. Because, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the sound that happens when it opens is very, very satisfying. Um, it's exactly the sound that you would expect from a cash register of this age. Um, Carl, yeah, hey, timestamp dude, that's perfect, man. Listen, I will accept any and all comments because that's how things get fixed. Is that people just toss ideas out and those ideas get tried, and if they work, then perfect. If they don't, then hey, listen, that's one more thing that got tried that we no longer have to try. So if you have an idea, toss it out there, man. I'll try it. At the end of the day, I know how to access it through the back. That's something that I found yesterday, and actually, I think I might start kind of moseying on that way. Carl, to answer your question, could it be something that's broken on the inside? I don't think so. When this was brought to my brother's house, I hate that I'm resting my laptop on my gut, but hey, man, we're all funny people in here. You can all laugh at that. Somebody tell Dave Portnoy that some dude rests his laptop on his gut while fixing a cash register. Maybe he'll really like it. Um, but yeah, so as I was saying, this was put away working. So I don't necessarily think that it's that something is broken. It's that something has seized, which I mean, kind of means that it broke, but I don't think that I'll need a part. Like, I don't think that I'll need to like buy something. I think that I'll need to um, like manhandle something open and then like maybe spray it with some WD 40 and then like put it back together a bunch of times. Sorry, I was doing this as in like I was putting something together. I was just making silly hands, I guess. But yeah, I don't think that something is necessarily broken. I think that something is just not necessarily working properly right now. And it's due to like, like I live in Canada. This was essentially outside. It's probably just rusted. And I can fix that. I can fix rust. That's not a big problem at all. Um, but yeah, this bar is supposed to come up. Maybe this is Jim. I'm not willing to be violent on that. That's the problem. Is that like this is very stuck, and I'm not going to go crazy on it. Huh. I do like that. I can return that to there and press those buttons. Okay, so the handle needs to be there for this lever to go down. So I learned something new. Perfect. Um, E, H, K, those all work. I'm gonna see if I can maybe get one of these other ones to open, like the A and the B and the C. I'm just doing this paintbrush work sparingly, like I was mentioning, because I don't feel like many of you would be entertained by it, and so I only do it for a minute at a time to make sure that I don't lose anybody. That would be the worst if I lost any of you. I like having you guys around and giving me almost like moral support. Who doesn't like moral support from their voice? I know I do. But I also know that you gotta keep it entertained, right? Lots of shit coming off this. Lots of shit. Let's see here. I will show what I found yesterday. Let's see. I gotta see what the camera looks like here. So, this part right here, which I won't really be able to show because this camera is on a thing that really flexes around, but I can take it off. And I only wait. Can I take it off? Oh. Okay, there we go. So I can take off the side. And that's cool. It's got a few of the part numbers. So, like, for example, this is part 27. Um, just want to put it up kind of close to you. So, this is the grill that covers the area that takes care of receipts. Even then, even in 1912, I guess you were still getting some kind of receipt of purchase. But all of this engravement here, all of it was done by the Tiffany Company of New York. So any of those lamps that you see that are Tiffany Co., this is designed by the same people. Um, I don't know why NCR decided to go so hard and be like, let's get Tiffany Company to design it. But it's very ornate. Like even on this part, all along the top, uh, very ornate. This little knob right here. This is to wind the paper, I assume. But like even it's. Oh wait, that's a. Oh, okay. So never mind. That isn't to wind paper. That's some kind of lid. That screws on. I don't know what that's for. I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out though online. Obviously, don't want to strip the threads on that one, so you want to be careful putting it back in. Which might end up being, there we go. So I'm actually going to leave this off for the time being, because I'm going to go and give it the big once over. Do you want to see that side? You'll have to understand that. Yeah, shout out Tiffany for real, for real. Uh, and I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, I think I remember the feeling, and I recall. That's why we both kind of liked it. I said, that's the one thing that we got. I don't know. I think I got the lyrics kind of right. Do you want me to show you what's on the other side? Do you want me to show you what's here? Do you want to see right here? I think it's funny watching my arm go up and down like that. I can move the camera, but you have to understand it's going to vibrate for a second because it's on like a gorilla grip thing. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to move it. All right. So here is the the receipt area of the cash register, and I don't really even know. Okay, so let's see. Can I zoom in at all? Okay, this drum right here, and you can only kind of see how there's some white stuff on that drum. In between the areas of white stuff, there's a spot where you can see some like bumps and stuff. That's actually letters. That's the drum that uh, it would roll over the paper, and it would create such force that it would cause uh, the ink. Uh, let's see here. How do you word that? The paper essentially inks itself based off pressure, and that's what that was doing. It would put so much pressure on, and it would tell the name of this company. Oh my god, I can tell what name I can tell who owned this. We're clipping this. Okay, let's clip that to here. And sorry, folks, it's gonna kind of go around a little bit. Okay. So, how am I gonna get this to stop moving? Okay, that's gonna have to work. Um, yeah, let's get down on the old hands and knees. There it is. Yeah, that's definitely what that is. How do you get it out? How do you? Oh, okay, 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 okay. I see. Okay, folks, we're gonna rearrange here just so that you can kind of see what is going on. Uh, Sorry that you're moving around a bit for a second. Okay, and I'm gonna be in just a second because my battery is running low. Lord knows I've had that happen on these streams 46 times now. I think Timestamp Dude was in here the last time that my battery died on me. I think that's it plugged in. Okay, we're charging. Okay, yeah. Yeah, see, Timestamp Dude was here. Okay, we're all plugged in. We got to 12% before I realized that I needed to charge up. Hey, folks, by the way, thanks for sticking with 4 people. If I could get a like or two, I'd really appreciate it. That would be super stellar of you guys. And if you, I'll try and figure out what company originally purchased this cash register by getting this drum off. Oh, whoa. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, good. This screw is coming up very easily. Okay, screw, please don't like break something. Okay, this is a deal that you and me have. Okay, that's just what we're gonna have fun and just okay, screw found. Whoa, that's not a screw. That's a bolt. What? Okay, so that bolt is out there. Okay, and that okay. I'm kind of afraid of this. Fuck, I'm kind of afraid of this. Uh oh. Yikes. Okay, well, does this pin come out now? No, that's disappointing. Okay. Shoot. Yeah, folks, I really, I'm an idiot. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. Okay, back to not being an idiot. Can you remove the adder? Juggernaut, I'm not entirely sure what you mean by the adder. Whoa, there's 9 people. Come on, somebody give me a like. There's 9 of us. We're watching me try stuff. I'm gonna put this back in here though, because this that was too much for me. I don't know what I'm doing, and as such, I'd rather like to not mess it up completely. But I will grab a flashlight. Do I have a flashlight? Yeah, I do actually. And we'll try and see if we can't read what is on there. It might be upside down though, which could be problematic. Oh, I think it says something, the finish. Maybe where you see the light is there. And in the bottom part where it's white, sorry, just above it, you can kind of make out 2 ends and a series of maybe numbers at the top. Is what crashing? Timestamp, dude. What are you talking about, dude? Oh, okay. So yeah, so I don't know if that barrel is really worn down or if there's a possibility that there's so much ink on it over the years, right? Because that's what it does. That it just is it's so covered in ink that it's hard to read. So when I get to that point, yeah, I'll just be a second, timestamp, dude. I'm just getting everything rearranged. This stand sucks, and realistically, maybe I shouldn't have moved it at all. Sorry about moving it around. Sorry about my hand. Stick with me just for like 2 minutes here while I fix. Yeah, I shouldn't have done anything. I shouldn't have moved. How did I have this before? Okay, thank you all for liking the stream. I really do appreciate it. I'm just gonna put you like that for a second while I get this flexible arm stand thing taken care of. It's such a hassle. Okay, maybe this will work. This is what happens when you buy your camera. Friends, how did I have this before? This has just completely messed me up. Fuck. I'm so mad. Don't support your dollar store. They suck. These suck. I'm about to give up. All right. Well, that's not that great. Okay, well, that kind of works. Folks, I'm sorry about that. That was a lot. Oh, I can just push this back a little bit. Maybe that will help. Jeez, what a racket. Sorry about that, folks. Thanks again, though, for liking the stream. I see that there's like 4 or 5 likes. There's four. There's 4 people in here, so that's doubly cool. I really do appreciate you for that. I'm going to take a second while I have that cover off, and I'm going to take my trusty paintbrush. And if you didn't notice, I certainly did. There is all sorts of gunk in here, and gunk sucks. So we're just going to brush that out, get rid of some of these cobwebs. It'll only be a second while I'm doing this. Folks, if you have any questions at all, I know somebody was laughing at, or not so much laughing, but thinking that my dad was cool. He was. If you have questions about my pops or the tugboat or selling paper products like Dunder Mifflin, I can actually answer questions like that because I worked for him. I was the Daryl for his Dunder Mifflin. I took care of shipping and not receiving though, only shipping. My dad received all the paper, and I would borrow his Ford Excursion, which was a super fun truck to drive. It was the largest vehicle on the market at the time, and I would go and deliver the paper for him. Here's a funny story for you about that truck. So the Ford Excursion is literally just a really big Ford Explorer or Ford Expedition, and the CRA, the Canadian Revenue Agency, our version of the IRS, got in contact with my dad because they wanted to. Uh, what's the word that they use when they look over all your math and stuff like that for your business? Well, they did that to him, and they said, "Why are you driving around?" And this was in 2003, 2004. Why are you driving around in a $63,000 vehicle when you're delivering paper to, gross companies? Gross as in like, you know, they're it's not like a nice building or something like that. It's an industrial building. And my dad goes, I'm a single employee. I'm a single employee other than my son who sometimes delivers for me. Uh, if you want me to have a cube van, that means that I also still have to have another vehicle for my private vehicle, and then also another vehicle in case I want to wine and dine one of my potential customers. Like if I want to take somebody from St. Mary's Paper to dinner, I'm not picking them up in a cube van. I need another vehicle. Well, all of a sudden, you now have me having two vehicles, paying two insurance, paying to this, paying to that, when that vehicle can physically handle the paper and still looks good. The CRA guy goes, huh, you win. Done. My dad beat the CRA. Take that, CRA, you bunch of losers. There's so much gunk that happened through here. Yeah, timestamp, dude. Literally, the last trip that we took was from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, where I am right now, to Toronto, Ontario, which is an 8.5 hour drive. If you're not like speeding, we had the middle row taken out of the excursion. Uh, so literally, whoever wasn't driving and whoever wasn't the passenger could just sit in the back, in the very back row, and do whatever. You know, watch movies on their laptop, do whatever you want. Hey Carl, thanks a lot. You know, if you want to give me a follow or a like or do whatever, you know, that's cool. I'd really appreciate it. This is going to be a work in progress. We're going to get this stupid thing open. I hope that you're in here on the stream when it does eventually happen. But you know what, man, for today, have a nice day and thanks for joining. I might be done for today, actually. Like, actually working on it. Um, no, no, that's not true. I'm gonna get this row working. So you could, yeah, you could, yeah, all the leg space in the world, you could pretty much play Twister. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. I do miss the Ford Excursion. It was just too much for me as a single person without, you know, any reason for all that. Oh, hey, hey, there's the A button, and it'll. There we go. The A button works. Uh, oh, there we go. B button works. So when my pops passed, I could have kept the excursion, but it would have made no sense because it's just me. Um, and it actually is a good thing that I didn't keep it versus my car because 6 months after my pops passed, I lost my job, like my really good paying job. So I wouldn't have been able to afford the excursion anyways. Because that thing, oh yeah, there we go. That thing was a gas guzzler, folks. We might have two working rows. Pow! There's one working row. All right, we're gonna go from the bottom on this one. Okay, there's 10. Okay, 10 and 20 both work. Sorry about the noises again, folks. I'm using a lot of effort and like straining myself, and it's coming out on my voice. So, sorry if you hear me going, I promise it's because I'm just pressing these. Okay, 30 is going to be a little bit more of a bitch. When you see me like stand up and kind of move it around, I'm hoping that it's seized in that if I can move it around somehow, it'll unseize. Like that. I just saw it move a little bit. Now, that could have just been the cover, the silver piece that the number sits in, but yeah, that's a okay. Come on, all my weight. Okay, yeah, that one ceased. Okay, now my hands sore. Yeah, we're all up. Okay, I'm trying on 90 right now. Okay, 90 down. 90 might have been one of the original stuck buttons. No, yeah, I think it was. There we go. That's the feel. They have, when you press this trigger, there's a spring in all of them. So what happens, let's see, what button can you kind of tell? Right here? Are these the buttons you can kind of tell? Yes. So there is, where the column goes down, there's two pieces of metal that go on each side of it. And on the other side of the metal, so just imagine, two pieces of metal like this going around it. The key. And that's what I'm feeling for. So when I was pressing this, and see, it's not, I might not be pressing it off. No, it's just not popping. Oh, that's because I was using the 90. So when you press it, it has a feeling to it. It has a certain mechanical feel to it. You have that feeling where it's like, yeah, that's pressed. It has that. Like, when it's pressed and when it's not, but also when it releases, when you press that button, it has a certain pop to it. And that's why I pressed this button a few times to get it to pop properly. And now here's the 80, and the 80 was definitely, so here's the 80, it's jammed again. Or was it the 9? It might have been those that were stuck before, but it's the 80 that's stuck now. So there's the 80 down. But now the 80 is not popping, and that's obviously not good. Okay, so okay, so we've got a problem there. So this 80, I don't know if anybody remembers the two buttons that were stuck, but I'm pretty sure it was this 80 button that was stuck at the beginning, and that's what I thought might get me the drawer, but apparently not. But it's stuck again. So if I can get this unjammed, then I'm going to work it a little bit. I'm going to press it and press the button to undo it. Yeah, this is jammed again. God damn it. If you're in the stream, why don't you tell me who you are? Just to make sure that I know who's currently in here. I see that there's at least a couple. Thank you for that. Just so everyone knows, my towel trick is working fantastically. I don't know if there would be damage, but there isn't damage because of this towel. Oof, she's stuck. Yeah, that's a stuck button, all right. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's unstuck, but it's now stuck. Okay. See, now here we go. Here's a good example. So that button was stuck, and then when I pressed it, it stayed stuck. But then when I pressed it a second time, it was less stuck. And now you can hear the tink that happens when I press it. That's when I know that it's down and it seems to be working properly. I think that there's a piece that kind of just goes punk, and that's what holds it down. But now I can press on it and it has a little bit of play. What happens with the other buttons that work? Okay, so they play a little bit. But 80, now I'm going to press this button and it's going to release. Okay, good. So we've got 80 working and releasing at least kind of good. So that's good. 90's good, 80's good, 70, and everything else except for the 20 is now seized. There's 3 people in here. If you want to just tell me who you are. I like to know who you are. If you're in here a lot, like I interact with you a lot. If you support me, I talk to you. And I do love to talk. growing up, um, in junior kindergarten, I don't know if that's an American thing or not, but here we have junior kindergarten and senior kindergarten. And when I was in junior kindergarten, nobody could understand what I was saying. I jumbled my words really badly. And the running joke at my school was that the only person who could understand me was this girl named Stephanie. And Stephanie's were right off the boat from Italy. They spoke no English at all. And as such, Stephanie grew up really speaking predominantly Italian. And her English was very, very hard to understand. For some reason, though, I could understand her, she could understand me, and we were besties in grade 1 and 2, junior kindergarten through 2. And then my mom got me to speech therapy. I don't know how that came up. How did that come up? I'm gonna have to watch this back and try and figure out why I'm talking about speech therapy. That came out of nowhere. Sorry, folks. Um, yeah, I need a drink. So I'm going to take literally 40 seconds to just kind of swivel my chair. And I'm going to go grab a water. It's going to be great. H2O. Folks, if you're in here, I'd love to hear a comment, a word of advice, maybe. Anything at all. I'll take anything. Anything you want. That button works. That button works, but could use some work, possibly. I'm not sure. It's very satisfying. All right, 70 button. We're getting you to work next. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, well, it went down. Now it just, it needs a little bit of help. So we're gonna just pop it back open. We're gonna pop it back open. Pop it. Open. Yeah, there we go. Alright, 70 going out. 70 coming back. Nope, not yet, eh? And again, this is what I was talking about. You want to press the button down a bunch of times because you're working the gun count. So this one I might need to actually, this panel right here comes off and the buttons, it just kind of slips past the buttons. I might need to work at 70 a little bit because it does not want... I can feel it, even with my finger on this trigger, the button that releases them all. You can kind of see it, I hope. It's right there. My screen is slightly delayed. I'm making sure that you can see it. When I press that button, I can feel it solidly connecting through the trigger here on my thumb, but it's just not releasing well. It's releasing better, but it's not. This is no help. Oh, what's that? No. Okay, but it works. it moves is what I was getting at. Which, that's the start. Now for the 60. Oh, 60 went well. Okay, well, the 60 went down really well. And it's back out, so it's coming out. I have the sinking suspicion that this whole row is just going to be a jerk to me. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that. Oh, look at that. Okay, still nothing there. So what I just did with 60 is that I held down the trigger where my thumb is, well, where my pointer is now, and I figured holding that down would mean that the button wouldn't stick down, which is why I pressed it a bunch of times, hoping to clear the channel that the button is sitting within. Because obviously that's what's happening, is that the channel is blocked by something. So I'm holding this down with my index, with my pinky, with my, God almighty, with my pointer. And we're going to go back to 70 for a second here, and we're just going to work it. We're going to work it like some, like 2000s model of some kind. So we're just going to keep pressing the button. You gotta work, is something RuPaul would say. And that's real. RuPaul's the best. Chat, what's going on, chat? How you doing? There's 3 of you watching. You're watching me push and pull a button in and out. My arm, I guess, is kind of in the way. Sorry about that. Okay, so I can press it. It releases. What happens if I release that? Okay, the button sticks down. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, well it did it once. So the proof of concept is there. Okay. It is a little bit jammed still, but the 70 seems to be working okay. I tried. Nothing. Arm back. Button pressed. God damn it. Why won't you open? We're at an hour and a half of working on this. We have 50% more buttons. 100% more buttons working than we're working. So that's good. We're getting there. 70. Nope. That 70 is going to be stuck forever. Okay, there's 50. The number came off and everything. We're gonna just, okay, we're gonna force it back up to us. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna let the arm travel inside of the chamber a little bit. Maybe get some gunk out. Yeah, that's 70. She's gonna be just an absolute bitch, isn't she? Okay. Mm. That hurt. That hurt a lot. It's okay though. Okay, this came out pretty okay. I'll let this travel. I'll let it travel a bunch. Oh, for fuck's sakes. That's what my thumb looks like right now. Let's see if I can get that on there. It's got a big circle. Whew. 2 rows that at least partially work. 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. They all worked. 90, 80, 70, 60, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, so I still can't get the drawer open. That's okay. We're getting there. We have a side of it off. We have this column of buttons working, and we have this column of buttons working. Some buttons from other columns also work. So that's pretty good. You know, that's pretty good for like an hour and a half of work. It is significantly cleaner, which of course is a beautiful thing, and I am happy with this progress. So thank you if you stopped in to watch me work on my dad's 1912 NCR department store cash register. I really, really appreciate you. If you liked the stream, thank you for that. If you followed me because of the stream, thank you for that. If you haven't followed me yet, please follow me. I know I wasn't able to get the drawer open today, but maybe next time I'll be able to. And you'll want to be here with me when I open it. I know that there's some keys in it, but I really don't know what else is in there. I don't think there's like I don't think there's any money in it. If there is, it's like a $2 bill from Bermuda or something. That's not important. I've been in the cash register in the last 20 years, so I know that it's not like it's loaded with Canadian tens or something. But yeah, like I was saying, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. At one point, there was 9 people watching me restore my father's cast iron again with the cast iron frying pan. I've already restored my dad's cast iron frying pans, so they don't need to be done. But thank you for watching me restore my dad's cash register. I really appreciate it. He's not around anymore, but I'm sure he would also appreciate it. Even just giving me the time of day, he would appreciate you doing that. So, thank you very much. Give me a like, give me a follow, and join me next time as we continue to work on Pretty Jimmy's Dad's 1912 National Cash Register that doesn't open, but will soon. Thanks. Have a good day. Will.